Top 5 AG boots that you can buy in 2020. Let's go. More and more artificial grass pitches are popping up all over the world, and chances are that you've probably played on one at least once in your life. And AG pitches are great, but they're also really hard on your boots. Now, a lot of people will probably use their normal FG boots when they play on artificial pitches, and while it can definitely be done without too much hassle, it's also a little bit of a mistake, because not only do you increase the risk of getting injured because of the longer FG stud sticking a little bit more in the artificial pitch, thus risk getting stuck and you risking twisting your joints and your knees and getting injured really badly, but also artificial grass pitches are just really hard on your FG boots, meaning that if you take a pair of FGs, you go on artificial grass and then the boots break, well, you won't have the warranty to cover you. Now the sharp viewer might say, but Jay, you also use FG boots on AG pitches when you shoot your videos. And it's true, we do, and it's a little bit naughty. But the thing is that when we shoot videos, we do a lot of controlled movement, which means that the risk of getting injured is relatively lower compared to when you play a real match and you do a lot of unexpected movements. So in other words, don't do as we do as we say you should do. I mean, it's for your own good in the end. But to combat this thing of FG boots not being optimal to use on artificial grass pitches, the brands have decided to make dedicated AG boots with more studs that are often shorter and they're also more durable. So it's a very good idea that if you play regularly on artificial grass pitches, to have a dedicated pair for AG use, for your legs, your boots, and also your wallet's sake. And these are the 5 best for the job. First up is the PUMA Future 5.1 MG, which is made with no less than 45 little mini studs compared to the normal 13 on the FG model. And that actually works quite well because due to the size and the number of the studs, the pressure on each stud is significantly lower than you have on the FG model, meaning that the risk is also significantly lower on the studs getting stuck in the ground, meaning that you will twist your knees badly, getting injured, and that sucks. So that's a really good thing. And actually also the AG plate here gives a pretty balanced grip on artificial pitches because while it's not the most aggressive in the world, there's grip enough. So it is a very decent performer, but probably the safest in terms of preventing injuries. In fourth, I've brought the Adidas X19.1 AGs, which are great because they feel a whole lot like the normal 19.1s, only a little bit more stable and a lot more safe. And the thing is that you get an extra stud, meaning less pressure on each stud. But also these triangular studs are a little bit smaller and also have more rounded edges, meaning that rotating in the ground is a bit smoother, trying to prevent you from getting stuck. And on top of that, Adidas have also increased the size of the so-called toe lip, meaning that the outsole is basically covering the tip of the boot a bit more to make it more durable, especially in an area where we see a lot of boot splitting when you play on AG. And this AG version is definitely a little bit heavier, but also just feels more stable when you play on artificial grass. And in my head, it's just a softer, more gentle and safe version of the normal FG boot. And the good thing is that you can also use it on normal grass as well. So, double win. Next up, I've brought the Adidas Predator 20.1 AG, which is actually similar to the Copa 21 outsole, and actually they also share a lot of DNA with the X19.1 AG outsole that we just took a look at, except for the fact that this has an external heel counter. And that external heel counter actually means that I feel I get a little bit more stability and much more of a secure locked-in fit around the heel, which when playing on artificial pitches is something that I like a little bit more than in the X. Apart from that though, it's still very good because it finds that balance between the normal aggressiveness that you feel in a pair of FG boots, but with the extra added balance and stability under the midfoot that takes a little bit away off the stud pressure that you would normally feel. So it's a great performer, but also feels a bit more durable and safe, which you need on an AG pitch. And the same thing can be said for the Vapor 13 Elite AG Pro, which has swapped a lot of the chevron bladed studs for these hollowed out conical studs that not only make sure that the studs twist more easily because of the conical shape through the ground, ensuring that you lower the risk of the studs getting stuck and you getting some really nasty twists under your belt, but also the fact that they've been made hollow means that they generate less heat around the studs, because heat creates abrasion, and abrasion is what wears the studs down. So by having them cool quicker and generating less heat, you also increase the durability. And the thing is that they're so good that I wouldn't mind wearing these on a normal FG grass pitch either, just like Neymar has actually done, because the grip is definitely still there. So whether you want one of the best boots for AG pitches, or you simply just love the material but want a slightly more comfortable, less aggressive stop pattern to save your knees, this will do the job in both occasions. But before we move on to number 1, I want to give a shout out to the Unruh Velocity 4 AGs. They kind of sit in between the PUMA mini stops concept and the more FG-like Nike Adidas concept, because it has 27 conical studs of different sizes, meaning that it's perfect for even the oldest AG generations, and in general, it just performs really well. Another thing I want to mention though is that if you feel kinda like taking your chances and you play mostly on natural firm grass pitches, but also occasionally you have to go play on an AG pitch, you can take your Mizuno Morelia Neo 2s and use those. Of course, you're on your own because you lose your warranty, but the conical studs here are gonna do a decent job in rotating and preventing twisting, and also the build quality is so high that the boots are gonna hold up pretty well. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but if you feel adventurous, this will probably be the least bad FG boot to take on a pitch like this. But my favorite football boot for AG use right now is the Nike Phantom Vision 2s that actually has the same AG Pro outsole as the Nike Phantom Venom, and as you can see, the Nike Tiempo Legend 8s. And actually, it's also pretty similar to the AG Pro outsole we just saw on the Vapor 13 Elite, except for the fact that this is a full-length plate, and instead of having the chevron-shaped stud under the middle, it now has these little conical studs that simply just make me feel a little more comfortable, but also gives me the sensation that they're a little bit less clingy in the ground, maybe tricking my mind into thinking that it is slightly more safe. But here again, you get these conical hollowed out studs, meaning that the movement and the durability in the ground is very good, meaning that all three of these boots are really superior when it comes to AG use. But because I feel there's slightly better lockdown in the Vision 2s, that would be my choice. See, the thing is that when you put your foot down and you want to change direction on an AG pitch, the boot kind of gets a little bit more stuck in the ground, meaning that you want as much lockdown as you can possibly get. And because of that, my choice in the end falls on this guy. As you've probably gathered here, the great thing about most modern AG boots is that, well, at least from Nike and Adi, you can also use them a little bit as more rounded, less aggressive versions if you also play on normal grass pitches. So if you play regularly on both FG and AG pitches and you can only get one pair of boots, personally, I'd actually go for an AG pair from either Nike or Adi. And you can, of course, buy all of the AG boots I've mentioned in this video from unisportstore.com if you click the link right over there. Of course, also before you bounce, don't forget to go subscribe with the notifications on. Leave us a like on the video as well. And if you want to see 5 alternatives to high-end football boots, you can click the video, have some fun right over there. With that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.